And now we are here in phase. Oops, already fucking up. But yes, now we are here in phase two of the DC or my DC Marvel movie slot, my DC cinematic universe. Last one was phase one, the Cosmos. Now we're moving on to phase two. If you guys want to know what's going on, go ahead and watch part one of my DC universe phase two, part one. If you want more context, go ahead and watch the whole entire phase one of my cinematic DC universe, part one through part five, and then we'll meet you back here on phase two. But if you're just here to enjoy the show, let's go ahead and get things started. So, back in part one of phase two, we started off the phase with Justice League War of the Gods, part one, which leads us to Justice League War of the Gods Part 2, and then led us to The Fastest Man Alive. And now we're moving on to the next movie in the slot, which is World's Finest. This movie takes place after the events of Justice League War of the Gods Part 2. Bruce, John, and Kal, John Stewart's Green Lantern, and Kal recover from Athena's attack, and with the arrival of Zeus, the earth slowly turns into the ancient land more and more as time goes on. The ancient land, as in Olympus, Greek mythology kind of time frame. The three heroes spent the first part of the movie saving people who are left and fighting back against the Olympian creatures. Kal keeps hope alive, but struggles to keep his tears of fear back. Bruce has no plan or plan B for something like this, and John falls depressed because of losing his world as its only Green Lantern. Main villain in the movie will be Gorilla Grodd, a gorilla from a zoo turned super genius by being affected by the cosmic energy combining the worlds, Earth and Olympus. So because of this combination of Earth and Olympus, combining together, Grodd, who at first was a regular gorilla, was affected by this, cosmic energy, and it made him to pretty much a meta-human, a meta gorilla, if you will, turning himself into a super genius. Grodd blames the humans for this world's takeover and plans to turn the whole entire world, the world's humans, into gorillas. Movie shows Grodd's mind becoming more and more powerful, escaping and outsmarting Batman and Superman, leading to John Stewart becoming a mind-controlled gorilla. So yes, it will be a moment to where Gorilla Grodd gets to a point to where he tests out his theory, his technology that he's developed, and eventually turns John Stewart into a mind control gorilla. So that will be kind of, now that I'm rereading this, it does sound kind of funny. Where we at? Batman refocuses all his attention on stopping Grodd, gaining back his confidence, and Superman, seeing the hope in Bruce's eyes, gives him hope, reminding him on what his parents said and what his S on his chest stands for. That's my microwave. My food's ready. So throughout the whole movie, Batman is pretty much has not really given out all hope, but he really can't really do much. Him trying to pretty much fight back against the gods. It seems to be a very high pedestal. Excuse me. It doesn't seem it seems more and more impossible as the days goes on, as Superman starting to lose hope. But now that Batman has refocused his attention on saving his friend John Stewart, that reignites hope within Superman. Batman and Superman team up to stop Grodd and reversing John back into his normal self. The movie ends with Grodd being kept at a new location designed by Batman after Earth's fall, keeping Grodd's cell there and taking away his mind control abilities. Batman, Batman and Superman put their heads together on how to take back the Earth. So now, dealing with Grodd, that now saving John Stewart, they're back to what we have to settle this whole war with the Olympians once and for all. So they refocus on the main goal and the bigger picture of things. That's pretty much what this whole movie is about when it comes to World's Finest. Where are we? Where are we? The post-credit scene. Batman and Superman are met by Wally West and Dick Grayson's Nightwing. They explain Wally's abilities to enter a place called the Speed Force, a place outside time and space, and reveals where they can find Aquaman. He is in the underworld, says Wally West. And that is the end of World's Finest. How we feeling about that? We can go ahead and move on to the next movie in the phase, which is Aquaman, Dawn of the King. Now, this one is going to be a little bit more of a R-rated kind of movie, and you'll see why. Movie starts off with Arthur standing in front of dead beasts that he's killed since being kicked here by Athena back in War of the Gods. Go ahead and watch that video for more context. Movie will be all about Aquaman surviving the underworld, living off the final water he has, and eventually surviving off his own water from his own blood. Main villain is Hades, sending his troops and demons, making it harder for Arthur and Hell. Arthur would eventually learn he can command the water inside of these creatures and beings' blood. This makes his time in Hell easier, killing Hades' demons and drinking their blood to survive. Arthur would eventually make his way to Hades, and a desperate Arthur versus a pissed off Hades commences, with Arthur controlling Hades' beast against him, brutally killing Hades, having been eaten alive by his own children. Movie ends with Arthur sitting on Hades' throne, claiming the underworld as his new domain. Post-credit scene of this movie, we see Wally back on Earth doing one final test to enter the Speed Force. He makes it, disappearing into a light-colored and fast-flowing state. He focuses his mind on Arthur, calling to him, and finds him in the underworld. A portal opens. Arthur sees him and smirks with fiery eyes. The end credit scene shows Diana falling through dimensions and landing in a dinosaur time period. She runs into a T-Rex and it roars as the screen goes black. And that is the end of the Aquaman Dawn of the King movie. I really want to focus on just Aquaman and Arthur surviving in Hell. I haven't really thought of a depiction yet when it comes to Hell. I don't really want it to be like all fiery. I actually want it to be a little bit more of apocalypse. In that apocalypse movie with Batman and Superman when they met Supergirl, I want a little bit more like that. And Aquaman just basically being this lone warrior trying to find his way back, but he keeps running into these all kinds of demons, and that's when he learns he can demand the water and other beings' blood, which makes him kind of a bloodbender in a way. I told you it was going to be an R-rated one. But we can go ahead and move on to the next movie, which will be the final movie in this video, which is Wonder Woman, Outside of Time. It's been 5 years since Diana has arrived in the time of the dinosaurs. She's killed and ate dinosaurs to survive here. She's even made a fortress for herself made out of dinosaur bones. Her hair is longer, her armor she has is now buried, and she still carries her God Killer sword, but it's been used to smite giant lizards, not gods. Whole movie is spent on Diana fighting and killing dinosaurs, writing into her journal that slowly went from her having faith her friends would get her back, slowly becoming more savage and animalistic, giving out all hope. So now the theme of this whole entire phase is losing hope and gaining it. Movie ends with Diana near death, being surrounded by T-Rex. Before she's eaten, a portal opens and it's Wally West. He pulls her out of that timeline and back to Earth. On Earth, it's only been a few months, but for her, it's been 5 years. Hold on, give me a second. She instantly attacks Superman and Batman out of anger and confusion, but Arthur puts her down unconscious by freezing and unfreezing her blood. Wally asks the heroes, "What do we do now?" There is no post credit scene. There is no end credit scene at the end of this movie. This movie is really a simple movie. Wonder Woman and dinosaur time. That's really it. When she gets back to her own timeline, that really happens towards the end of the movie. So it's just really her just being the shit out of T-Rex, riding dinosaurs, maybe even a badass visual like this, just minus the Amazon package. But how we feeling so far, guys? How we feeling about Wonder Woman Outside Time, Aquaman, Dawn of the King, and even the world's finest movie? Y'all let me know in the comment section down below and in the viewership. Because it's only depending on you guys. Should I continue with phase 3? Should I continue with even phase 4, or should I just end it with just phase 2? Y'all let me know, but y'all take it easy.